My name is Doja Brown.
Nice to meet you, though.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. My name is Yashara.
Nice to meet you.
And so, what's your story? You want to start
I
with?
got a couple of, well,
Do you want to start with the story, like where you from, or where are you from originally?
I'm from Washington, D.C.
You're from Westchester, New York City. Okay, you grew up.
Washington, D.C.
Oh, Washington D.C. When did you come to New York City?
I've been here since grad school, off and on, since 2017.
Okay, cool. What are you studying?
I'm a teacher.
What inspired you to be a teacher? What was your upbringing like?
I had some great teachers. I'm come from a performing arts background, so I went to a lot of performing arts high schools and colleges, universities. So I'm kind of into dance. I'm a dance teacher, danced before. So there's a whole lot of marginalized things going on in the arts world that I can speak on. For instance, being for first generation going to college in California, I was one of maybe under 10 students of color in the program. That meant a lot. So that was something to experience because you really, and no one has told me the do's and don'ts of going to college, so I had to learn on my own. So me going there and being away from my family, I'm from the East Coast and I'm always to the West Coast, to see how I handle certain situations. Like you don't know if someone is, being discriminating against you if you never experienced before. So you had situations where people probably like, oh, it's interesting you know how to do that, or you're good in ballet, or I can't believe you know how, or just the lack of exposure they think you have based off your skin color. Yeah, so that's.
And how did you get through that? How did you deal with that?
So during that time, all of us, as you know, us as color, we always come together. So we always find us in a space and cuddle together. So when we got to the point where we were sharing our stories about what's going on with us individually, we just had to stick together because there was no one else there at the school at that time that was about equality and calling out what was going on with students. So there was no equal opportunity, adjunct or provost marshal, nothing about diversity was being addressed. And because they were letting in so many students of color, then now you have a melting pot in this place that didn't have that before. They're now like, okay, well, we have all these different students here from different backgrounds, and these are social political problems coming up. How can we deal with them? Because we never dealt with them before. So that was interesting. So we kind of like demanded them to hire more people that looked like us, have more conversations about what's going on in our community, have more conversations, more actual history within the arts of people of color, because history of dance, and especially black dancers, nobody really knows. Nobody really knows like the true history, unless you've been taking dance history, you're familiar with some things. But at this point, what everybody sees on TV is a thing. Like, oh, Misty Copeland, she's best, she's amazing, everybody love her, she's the best ballerina ever, she's black. Yes. No. Somebody done that before her. Her name was Janet Collins, ballerina. Yeah. So there is plenty of us that we just never got the moment to shine, and the history has not been told enough, so we know who these people are and we go recognize them. I think now technology is such a big and important thing that you can see who these people are, and they, it lasts forever. Like this information is so viral that it's being shared, but anything prior to that is like lost.
That is so true.
Yeah, it's lost. Don't nobody know about that. It ain't happened. It ain't recorded. It ain't on TikTok.
That is true. That is very true. And I would say that's like kind of like with rock and roll. Like they make it seem like Elvis Presley, but it's like, no, that's Chuck Berry.
Come on, yes. So like our history is like.
It's always kind of like
Chuck. Yeah, and it's not exposed. It's not exposed, and it's not talked about. Like even when I went to grad school, I wasn't really reading a lot of black authors. Now that I'm out, I'm like, oh my gosh, W.B. Du Bois, I gotta read him. Like I got like Huey, and I gotta read like all these predominantly people within the movement now. But I'm like, how come y'all not tying that to all this time in curriculums? How is that? Like, that don't.
Exactly. 100%. I agree with that. I think that's the issue because I would say in America, we don't learn enough about our predecessors, like in history classes at all.
No.
Whereas you go to other countries like in Finland, they're learning about that. So they, it's like America tries to cover their sins, but it's like we have to confront it. We can't hide from our sins. Like
No,
it
not
happens.
at all.
Let's move past
It definitely
we talk about
happens.
ways to move past the daughter of fishes.
Yes, and you know, it was a big difference from growing up in having white teachers and black teachers. Like my black teachers really pushed us to know our history, know what's going on behind the veils. You know, just because no one showed you, we're going to show you. So the exposure was very different, very intense. When I say very intense, I got to college knowing about like Janet Collins and Arthur Mitchell and like all these other prominent people within like the art world, mainly the dance world, whereas everybody's so used to like Martha Graham and Lamone and like all the non-people of color. All the non-people of color. Like at this point, like everybody's like, oh, we don't even like we don't even celebrate hip hop like we celebrate ballet. But yet TikTok is famous because why?
Like
Do you see?
Right.
And what do they call hip hop?
Exactly.
So what's really going on? Let's talk about it. In grad school, I wrote a paper trying to express how technology now is pushing, like, oh my gosh, like how technology is pushing urban society to be more relevant, and what goes on in urban society, how it's being connected to everything. So my teacher didn't understand that hip hop and certain dance moves and certain social movements become more popular because they are more relatable. And she didn't understand why is that. She just took it as, oh, this is just hip hop. Oh, this is just dance moves. Oh, the whipping nay. Oh, you know, the jerk. Like those are like
trying to make it as minute as possible.
Yeah, minute and just dismiss it. No, like they come from somewhere. Like they come from some type of movement, some type of social movement. That the reason why they had to do it. Like it's very symbolic. So what's the difference between like ballet dancers don't like a grunge just taking a bop mama like
exactly 100%.
Yeah, like
you just draw some knowledge.
Come on, like yeah.
Exactly.